Good morning and happy Sabbath. I'm about to start my morning routine, but as usual, before I go in, I wanted to share my day 4 of my devotion, Find Joy by Shanti. So let's get into it. Day 4 starts as usual with a quote from Charles Spurgeon, and it states, "While others are congratulating themselves, I have to sit humbly at the foot of the cross and marvel that I'm saved at all." And the Bible verse for day 4 is Joshua 4, verse 20 to 22. And I read, "And Joshua set up at Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken out of the Jordan. He said to the Israelites, 'In the future, when your descendants ask their parents, what do these stones mean? Tell them, Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground.'" And the devotion for day 4 is titled, "Cross the Jordan and Remember." So if you're not familiar with Israel's journey to the promised land, they had to pass through various trials that God blessed them to overcome, and one of them, whilst Joshua was the leader, was them crossing the Jordan to get to the specific place of Canaan that God wanted them to be. And the Jordan was a big river, so they needed to be able to cross it and get to the other side without any bridge or without any way. So the Israelites had to depend on God to help them get there. Now God informed them that they should get in the water and cross. And it's like, God, how are we going to get in the water and cross? Because even if you're hinting back to how we crossed the Red Sea, that opened before we crossed. So why are you telling us to get in the water and it will open? Anyone will be scared. Anyone will be skeptical. First of all, they're already worried, like Shanti is saying, about the giants that they have to fight when they get to Canaan. Now they have to worry about crossing water that they have to get in first before they're able to cross it. It didn't make sense. But they followed up on God with faith, and when they entered the water, it opened and all of them crossed on dry land. And Joshua told them to gather some stones from the middle of the river and set up a pillar as a remembrance that this is what God had done for them. And it was important for them to set that remembrance because they had major battles ahead of them, and they needed something that they could reflect back on and use that to encourage their faith. So Shanti ends day 4's devotion by stating that we also should find some type of way to ensure that what God has done for us, we have written it down. We reflect on how we were feeling and when God did it and how we felt after, so that we can also have a type of pillar that will always remind us that God has been faithful and will continue to be faithful. She ends day 4 with a reflection as usual, and it states, "When was the last time you reflected on God's faithfulness to you? What method will work for you to record what God has done? Right now, pray about it, commit to a method, and write that decision below. Watch your love for God grow as you remember what He's done." I do have a method. I have a journal on my iPad, and on that journal, I do have a section for prayers. So I have a section where I write prayers that I am seeking for. So I have a prayer board. That's what I should explain, the prayer board on my journal. And every year or a certain time period, so at the beginning of the year and then the middle of the year. So at the beginning of the year, I write something down, the prayers, all things that are on my heart that I believe I would need for within the year. I want God to answer within the year. I will write that down. And then as the answers come, I have space for it, and then I document that as well. And then by the middle of the year, 6 months, I'll do it again, and whichever one is not answered, I'll just write it down at the new prayer board section. The only thing I don't write down is how I'm feeling and how I am dealing with it. So that is an aspect that I will incorporate to help me, because if you're going through anxiety and you're going to stress and worry and you don't write it down, now you're going to forget in the future that you even went through all these emotional struggles whilst you were asking or waiting for God to answer your prayer. So I am excited to incorporate this idea. I think it will be very beneficial for me, seeing as I tend to worry and stress over possible trials. And I don't like trials. So having this there to inform my brain, hey, you've been through that, you were worried, you were anxious, but all went out good, it's going to be something beneficial. And I ask you, the listener or the watcher, that you also do the same thing too, because it will benefit you. Our faith lingers after a while, but with God and with past memories that will always remind us that God has been faithful, will help our journey go well. So this is the morning devotion takeaway, and I hope you get something meaningful out of it. Glycerin. This is glycerin. And now I will go get dressed and come back. Because of the style of my dress, I have to fold it so that it doesn't get in the way. So I use this for my eyeliner, and then I use this my mascara. I forgot to show it on camera, so yeah, I am going to do a second round of mascara. But yeah, right now I'm about to do my edges while it's my first round to dry. So I'm done. The outfit that I'm wearing is actually for my other singing group, Our Praise. We are getting together today for a recording. So I will be going to church to sing for a baby dedication, and after that we will head out to go shoot Our Praise's video recording. So I will have to listen to the sermon on my phone, and after that I will come back and give a recap of what I learned. So yeah, so it's going to be a bit different today. Typically we would have sung at church, but they have a choir fellowship day at my church, so there's like a lot of like different choirs in our central next zone coming together at Washington, so they just didn't have like a slot for us to sing. So if I am there for some of the choir singing, I'll record, but if I am not there, then I will record the parts that I am there. I will see you there.
To see all the things around us through an eternal perspective. So you begin to ask yourself, what is the eternal value of this action? What is the eternal value? You see things through the eyes of eternity. Jonathan Edwards was a God, stamp eternity on my eyeballs.
So I just got back home after a long day. As I shared in the previous video, I did have one of my music groups recording today, and recording requires a lot of work. So there's like various videos that we were shooting and various angles. So I spent all of my day doing that. I wanted to go in and give a quick recap of the sermon. Although I did not sit inside the church building to listen to the sermon, I did listen to it anytime I got during the video recording process. So any chance where we would sit down to change our clothes or like eat or like change the scene, I would listen to the sermon or the preaching. So I just wanted to come in and give my quick recap. The sermon was delivered by the church pastor, and his verse was taken from Revelation 3 verse 21. Throughout the whole week, my church had a spring revival, and the main theme of the revival was the battle is real, overcoming in the end time. So it started from Sunday all the way till the last day, which was the Sabbath. The Sabbath sermon was titled "The Victory and Reward Are Real." Pastor went in and explained that in the last days, the church that we identify with is Laodicea, if I'm saying it right. Some people say Laodicea, some people say Laodicea. So I'll go with Laodicea. Jesus had nothing good to say about Laodicea. They actually boast about how well and how rich they are, so they never needed Jesus' help. On top of that, they never allowed Jesus to even be inside the building. That was the only church that Jesus was standing outside knocking to come in. And that is the time period we are in. In this generation, many of us, we are able to afford food effortlessly. Many of us, not all of us, but many of us, I don't remember the last time I worried about what I would eat before, ever. So many of us are able to afford food. We're able to afford nice clothing. We're able to afford. I also wanted to come in quickly and share that my outfit. Yes, I was wearing black before. We had various outfit change. This is just last outfit that I wore for the video, so that's what I came home with, just to clarify that. But we have various outfits. We have various shoes. Life is good for us most of the time. Sometimes you might have a trial where you are struggling with like a co-worker, or you are ill, or some aspect, but our daily needs are fulfilled. We don't necessarily need God for health. Most of the times, we don't necessarily need God for food, and we don't necessarily need God for a lot. It is when trials come our way that when it attacks a certain aspect of our life, do we go to God. Pastor also went into explaining that with the church of Laodicea, they only show the good parts, so they have an appearance of godliness, but deep down they are not godly. They're lukewarm, so they do godly activities, they engage in godly endeavors. However, behind closed doors, they are sinning, and they have a lot of sins that they do not want to let go of, and they compensate for that sin by doing good in hopes that it will kind of like balance each other out. But we need to stop. We need to let Jesus come into our heart. We need to surrender over to Jesus. Jesus is still at the door knocking to come into our heart. The devil never gives up. He wants to win this battle. He wants you to go to hell with him. But Jesus is standing at the door trying to bring you to heaven with him. If you backslide, if you take a break as a Christian, the devil, he's always there. He's never taking a break. He's always conscious and he's always attacking. So you need to be vigilant and you need to pick a side. Hopefully it is the godly side, but not the ungodly side. But you cannot be in between. Jesus is not like that. So that was the recap of the sermon. God needs to allow trials to come my way. Allow meaning he's not the one figuring out what to bring my path. No, he sometimes pulls away for certain consequences of my sins to occur. When I backslide, he allows the natural evil of this world to come upon me. And the reason is that if I am facing some type of trial, then I run to God. Hopefully after I have cried and almost like lost my faith, I still go back to God. So God just uses whatever he can to ensure that I am always abiding by him. And for me, it is often trials. It is often trials that makes me go down to my knees and be like, God, help me. Because I do not lack a lot of things. I have my basic survival needs met. And oftentimes it is some extra mile that I am seeking from God to do for me. But sometimes when God pulls out the curtain of protection that he has for me or around me and allows that one thing that I didn't do right, or that two or a few things that I didn't do right, the consequences of those wrongs to come my way, it makes me run back to God. And that's what God wants, for us to dwell under him. I wonder to you, and you can leave a comment down if you have an idea, if you believe the same way, but I wonder if we were to 24/7 like Job, be under God's protection. We're not sinning, because when you sin, you leave his protection when you sin, and now the devil can easily get you. So I wonder if we remain under God's protection by not sinning, by not doing anything that will cause us to pull away, by not being a lukewarm Christian, whether we would be going through a lot of the trials that we go through, because a good amount of trials I go through is just consequences of my sin or of not listening. So what if I remained under God? Would I be facing a lot of these issues? Probably not. The reality is there's always that white lie. There's always that unconscious sin or subconscious sin. But there's always that conscious sin. And we need help. We need work. I need work in Jesus to help me abide in him, especially coming from a church of Laodicea, I need Jesus to govern me. So this is my Sabbath recap. It was a long day. I know that various church choirs from Nagstad Central Zone came and sung, but I was not there to see it, nor did I listen to it. So I didn't clip it. I only clipped the parts that I was there for. So I hope you enjoyed this Sabbath recap, and hopefully next week will be more in depth with more choir singing. But I will see you next week.